President Bola Tinubu has suspended all administered social investment programs by the National Social Investment Program Agency. While in a statement, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation said the President's decision is in view of the ongoing investigation of alleged malfeasance in the management of the agency and its programs. All 4 programs administered by NCPA, including the NPower program, Conditional Cash Transfer, Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, and Homegrown School Feeding have been suspended for a period of 6 weeks in the first instance. While Tinubu has also constituted a ministerial panel to conduct a thorough review of the agency's operations to recommend necessary reforms.
Well, let's bring in Aisha Waziri Umar, a legal practitioner, social entrepreneur and former focal person of the Social Investment Program for Borno State in northeast of Nigeria. Good to see you, and thanks for your time to be back again. And the last conversation we had, we said so many things about how best to run this, and now less than 72 hours, the President has placed a suspension on all of these programs. How do you feel, Festa, about this latest development?
Well, thank you. Yes, I think a lot has happened in a very short time, and I have to say that I'm very, very relieved that you know, the President has you know, decided to put a searchlight, a torch, to scrutinize the program. I think that needs to be done, considering the huge amount of resources that like we said earlier. What I've heard is that the programs under the social investment, those 4 programs, those are the World Bank programs. We do have some other programs that are also social investment programs, aside from the World Bank program. And I think those have to also be included at some point.
I know the last time you were here, as a matter of fact, it was this week, you had recommended the unbundling of this social intervention programs. With this suspension, though, for 3 weeks, I mean, doesn't it amount to throwing away the baby with the bathwater? Or what would you say should be happening within the 3 weeks in terms of investigations? What questions should be asked, and what answers do you expect?
Okay, so the social investment program, like I said, is only one component in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And the ministry has several agencies and several social investment programs that are not these 4 that we mentioned. These 4 are the original programs. These were started about 2016, where we got a World Bank loan for about $500 million for that. And there was a fantastic design, the World Bank loan, in order to fund these 4 programs which were just mentioned. These are the ones that have been suspended. That's my understanding. But like I said, there are so many other programs, vulnerable grants, this and that. So I don't know what happens to those as well.
So you don't think this suspension would really affect much in terms of, I mean, the poor people, the target population of these programs? The suspension does not mean it's being scrapped. Scrapped, exactly. So it's not being scrapped. I think this is just to give enough time for there to be a proper scrutiny. And as you know, just because a minister is on suspension or head of an agency is on suspension does not mean that business cannot carry on. So perhaps the President perhaps wanted everything to stop. Because if he doesn't say that, it's possible to just continue. Because it's, it's a monthly payment to the cooks, it's monthly payment to NPower, etc., etc. So I think we wanted to just freeze everything. Take a deep breath, everybody. Have a look and see, especially for me, is the cost-benefit analysis. Were we really benefiting? Because, when you take a loan, or even if it's not a loan, if it's your own revenue, you still expenditure, every penny matters, especially now with this economy. The way the economy is, we really need every penny to save, to be very prudent. So I'm really proud and I'm happy that the President is actually taking this bold step and not just carrying on and putting a head in your sack.
I think I'm more excited to have you here, because it's not all the time you have someone who's got the hands-on experience, field experience, and that's why you're here. And for this suspension, the president is doing this because he wants a cursory look, a revisit of these programs. What do you think they should be looking to doing? Perhaps you've been there on the field. Yeah, I said the smile on your face to help them, speed up the process of rechecking to see how viable this can become. What should they be looking at? Okay,
very good question. First and foremost, like I said, some of the programs were successful, some not so successful. So I would look at the ones that had most impact. So you have to assess the impact, and I really think you need to talk to the states.
The states?
Of course, because the states were on the receiving end. So federal was trying to, impact lives of people within states. And like I said, local governments and the ward level. So naturally, the first point, of course, should be the states. I think that whoever the minister, who's supposed to do this forensic or analysis should actually talk to the states, because states are in the best position to give feedback about how well this impacted. And the states are the best position to give feedback about inefficiencies, problems, and how well, and we shouldn't just be emotional and take it personally. Let's just say things as it is, because we need every penny that we have right now. So it really matters. And it's not a witch hunt, but the states should all give a feedback from their side, not from the other way around. Yeah.
Right. Some experts or observers actually say that the states really should be at the driver's seat of this intervention programs from the get-go. You have been part of the social investment program before. I mean, just like we introduced you in Borno State.
Yeah.
What were the challenges that you encountered in the job of ensuring that the poorest of the poor are not left behind?
Okay, I think the main issue which I had mentioned earlier was conditional cash transfer. Now, where you have a principal-agent relationship, which is, I know there's a theory, the principal-agent theory, which basically identifies how the moral hazards, they call them the moral hazards, and these are the kind of things that came up where the federal ministry or the federal government, whether it's the World Bank or the ministry, whatever, where they have to rely on agents. There's that moral hazard, because the interest of the agent does not necessarily have to tally with the interest of the principal. Right. So we were on the receiving end. We were not the principals, we were not the agents. We were the beneficiaries, and on whose behalf they're actually working, getting this money and supporting, and the poor people are the ones that are supposed to benefit. So this was a very funny relationship, and like I said, there were moral hazards, there were lots of pitfalls. And like different agents had, understood the assignment differently, executed differently. Every state had their own story. Some were good, some were bad. Like I said, I thought Empower was an excellent program. And I like the fact that there were no agents. Right. Because Empower meant that the graduates or the diploma holders or the people would apply directly. And you see, you eliminate this agency issue. And the school feeding was also the same, because the cooks opened accounts, the women who cooked, and they were given monies, and they were supposed to go and buy the food and cook. So that also, to me, eliminated the agents. And then, so those two were good. The growth and economic empowerment, initially, I thought it was good, trader money and all that. Then there was some hitches after that. But the conditional cash transfer, in my humble opinion, I didn't like the idea of having agents, because there were a lot of problems there.
In other words, the agents really are the problem, regardless of whatever the particular program is, right?
The agency was a problem.
Yeah, but you didn't talk about the politicians who some would say have actually hijacked these programs before this suspension. But we'll have to say thank you very much. Aisha Umar, former focal person, Social Investment Program, Borno State, legal practitioner and social entrepreneur. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.